So I am so happy to be here. My name is Vonda Page, and I am the Radical Results Mentor for leaders looking to level up and managers making moves. What does that mean? That means that I serve as a mentor for people who know that they need to up level their strategies and their skills. And what I do is I give people the tools, the techniques, and the time, right, to move from leader to legend. With that being said, I'm also the CEO of my own company, which is Radical Change. And that is a boutique coaching and consultancy. And through that company, what I do is I run mentorships, I run masterminds, I run memberships, and I run master classes. And the overall vision, the long term goal of my company is to really see the alleviation of anti-Blackness. And I know that in order to get to that point, what we have to do is we have to up level the skills that leaders have right now so that they can build and develop skills to meet the moment. Because we have several crises happening right now. And I think that the root of those crises and why they've been allowed to extend is really based in anti-Blackness. So I'm just super excited to be here and to have the conversation today.
Thank you so much for that. That's really impressive and really interesting. It looked like it's at the center of our conversation here, which is African diaspora, our experience as a people. And of course, we also need to talk about who we are, what is our interest, what is our point of view in the world. In that we should not be afraid to say that we are here. We are really here. We are not a philosophy. You don't need to go somewhere to know who we are. We are here right now. We are here. We have always been here. So we need to own our space, own our voice. That is it. We don't need to apologize for that. All right. Before we get there just now, I want you to tell me a bit about yourself because we love to know about the background of the people. So, where were you born? Tell us, give us some feeling about that.
Oh wow. So I I love that question. And I'm really evolving in my maturity in terms of like what I feel comfortable and confident about sharing. But first and foremost, let me just tell you that I was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the United States on the East Coast. And I was born in 1969. So that means that I was a kid or a child of the 70s. And so, growing up in the 70s in Philadelphia, I want you to think big, beautiful afros. I want you to think big, beautiful noses and lips. And I want you to think Angela Davis. And I want you to think Asada Shakur. And I want you to think Sonia Sanchez. And I want you to think Malcolm X, right? And I want you to think about these voices and these images and the pictures of these people saying Black Power, right? And saying, Nina Simone singing to be young, gifted, and Black. That's where it's at, right? To hear Stevie Wonder saying, the first man to die for the flag we now hold high was a Black man, right? So I grew up in that time where the 70s, where Black people was proud and Black people was like, things are hard, but we proud and we know we can make it because we know where we come from. We know we the descendants of kings and queens. We know what our ancestors endured. We know that Africa is our home and that's where civilization and everything was started and created. So my teachers that I had, my Sunday school teachers, the preacher at my church, my neighbors, everybody around me gave me that like love yourself and be proud of who you are because this is our history. And so I grew up just like super proud about being Black and also super courageous because knowing that being Black in the face of anti-Blackness, being Black in the face of people who hate Black people, right? Because that's how they are conditioned. It's a challenge, but for me, I mean, it's our duty, right? It's our duty to fight for our freedom and it's our duty to win. and we don't have nothing to lose but our chains. So for me, growing up hearing that, growing up knowing that, growing up seeing that, that's like what's in me today, and why I'm like, I'm not going to just sit idly by and live my little life and act like things are fine when every day Black people are getting killed for no reason except being Black. So that's me. That's me.
All right. Now, it is early 17. It is 17 now. Let's just put it like that. When you were growing up, what kind of Philadelphia did you see? What kind of America did you see in comparison to what we have today in 2022? Or we can take it back few couple of years ago.
Two things that are different for me. Number one, in the 70s, I actually saw the violence up close and in person. So, for example, in the 70s, I can remember going down into a certain neighborhood to get groceries with my babysitter, and the Philadelphia cops doing what's called a roundup. A roundup is where they just start collecting Black men off the street and pushing them against a wall, a row of houses, and then searching them, patting them down, and spraying them with hoses for no reason. And I remember being snatched away when I was like looking like, what the hell is happening here? That's one example. I was in college in the 80s in Philadelphia when the Philadelphia Police and Fire Department bombed a Black family and burned down a full city block. It's called the Move Fire, the Move family, and they killed women and children. So in the 70s and early 80s, not only did I see things physically, like with my own two eyes, and I also saw news reports and read the newspaper. So for me, a lot of kids in America go to school at 5 years old. They go to school at what's called kindergarten. When I was a kid, kindergarten was just getting started, and I didn't go to kindergarten. So that whole year, when I was 5 years old, I read the newspaper. I read the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Wall Street Journal, the weekend Sunday New York Times. I read the Philadelphia Bulletin. I read the encyclopedia, the atlas, the dictionary. That's all we had. I didn't have these things, right? I have devices, right? And all of this. And so, reading the newspaper every day, starting at age 5, I became an early political junkie. I became a person that followed the news. And then when I started school, right, I had really good teachers, teachers that would show me writings of not only those women that I named, but writings from Baldwin and Du Bois, right? And they would show me pictures of African kings and queens and inventions that Africans invented, right? And so I had that knowledge there. So fast forward to 2020, which was when I realized that I needed to not only leave corporate America, and we could talk about that in a second, but that I needed to really put a focus my work on how do we address what's happening now. The difference now is it's on camera. So now, other than Black people, it's not just Black people can who can say it's happening. Now that it's on camera, and now that people have made all these pledges and all of these campaigns about things that they're going to do and not doing them, they didn't do them. So when I was in corporate America and when I could see it for myself, and when I could compare it, right? The difference is people can't say it's not happening. Back then, they could say, I don't know what you're talking about. It was never on the news. Now, I don't even get on TikTok as much because I'm seeing 3 and 4 of these incidents a day, right? Because we know as Black people, and in America especially, you know that Black people get killed constantly, and Black women go missing, and Black gay people, whether trans or non-binary people, right, get assaulted constantly. that is the life of being Black.